My name is Ellen Burkhart, and I'm the Director for Student and Family Connections, and I wanted to welcome you to UCCS and to the Mountain Lion family. Just like you, we are all in crunch time as we are getting excited and prepared for all of our students to arrive to campus, starting with our first-year students next week. Tonight's webinar is really to try to help to inform and also answer any questions that you have around move-in, Gateway Days, and Clyde's Kickoff. And then at the end, I'm also going to share some of my contact information in case you have additional questions that come up. During our webinar tonight, we will have a series of different presenters from different departments. If you have questions, we do have your mic and camera muted. So please don't raise your hand, but we will have questions in the Q&A. So at the top of your screen, there is a Q&A feature. I think the Q&A works best on a computer versus like your phone. So please use that Q&A feature, and then we will answer some of those questions live after our presenters have presented. And some of those we will be answering right there in the Q&A, and you should be able to see each other's questions as well as those answers in there as well. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Angela Stork, who is our Associate Director for Housing, and she's going to go ahead and talk to us about move-in and the move-in process.
Thank you, Ellen. I'm excited to be here today to share some information to those that are interested in housing. So just give me 1 second as I share my PowerPoint with you. All right, and I promise this is going to be really quick, even though I have a handful of slides. And we wanted to also ask, make sure you use that Q&A function in your Teams meeting, and we'll answer those questions as we get to them. First things first, make sure that you check your student email for complete details. We are sending out regular emails about move-in, your updated roommates, if you're getting updated roommates, and those things will continue to update through the end of the week. Knowing before you get here, you must be enrolled in courses in order to live in housing for fall 23 during the academic year. There's no minimum number of hours. You can take one class or you can take a full course load. It just depends on what meets your needs best. You need to know your status though, because students who are in reserve status are going to be enrolled in courses and will be able to move in, get their keys no problem on their move-in day. Those that are still tentative or held are going to need to get enrolled in courses before they move in. So as long as before your appointment you have some type of enrollment on your schedule, you will be good to go. Just remember that waitlist is not the same as enrollment. So if you're waitlisted for a class, that's not going to count. You're going to have to show at least one enrolled course on your schedule. You must be in a degree-seeking program to live on campus, and everyone that is currently has a housing booking is in a degree-seeking program. You're going to need to bring your government-issued ID for check-in. That can be a driver's license, just a photo ID, or your passport, something of that nature. And make sure that you download the mobile ID. That is going to function on your cell phone as your key to get in and out of your building, just the main building doors. I've included a I've included a QR code that you can easily access if you want to go ahead and snap that real quick. Save that tab on your phone so that you can go ahead and get that set up if you have not already done so. If you're one of the lucky folks that asked for an early arrival and was granted, here's some information for our early arriving students. That's any student arriving before the 14th of August. If you're checking in tomorrow or Friday, you're going to be checking in at the La Plata front desk during business hours. That's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to receive your keys. This is regardless of your building of assignment. You'll need to go to La Plata in order to get your keys first. If you're moving in early arrival on the 12th or 13th, please know that you need to go directly to your area desk. And the area desks are only going to be open from noon to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. I've listed the area desks there. La Plata serves Cucharas, San Juan, La Plata, Antero, Chavno, and Crestone. And the Monarch area desk serves Aspen, Breckenridge, Copper, Eldora, Keystone, Monarch, Steamboat, Telluride, and Vail. Early arrivals must be prearranged. If you are still interested in an early arrival to campus, we can help facilitate that. Just email housing@uccs.edu and we'll get that taken care of for you. Please make sure you understand that it's a $40 a day early arrival fee if you just for every day that you come before the 14th. There's no specific appointment for early arrival days, just come during the open times. If you're coming the 14th through the 16th, you will need to have a move-in appointment if you've not already scheduled one. Again, you can scan the QR code there. It will disappear at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So if you don't get your appointment set up by 5 p.m. tomorrow, you can always reach out to us via email again at housing@uccs.edu and we'll take care of that for you. We just like to have as much pre-planned as we can, so we're ready for you. You're going to check in on the 14th and 15th at the Gallagly Wellness Center gym. So we'll show you a campus map here in just a second, so you'll know exactly where that is. And you should have also received a campus map to your student email in the last couple of days. Just make sure that you go to the Wellness Center, not the Event Center. There are 2 Gallagly buildings on campus, and we don't want you to be confused. Students checking in on Wednesday, the 16th, you'll do that at your area front desk. Similar to the early arrivals, you'll just go to your area desk on that afternoon. And as a reminder, housing@uccs.edu is going to be your one-stop shop for any communications that you need to send to us, whether that's requesting an early arrival, a room change, and other issues that we can address for you. So in terms of move-in parking, residents and parents may park in the Alpine Field garage while you're going in to check in at the Gallagly Wellness Center. Just because it's the closest one, you don't have to walk as far. Once you do get your keys, if you're living in Summit Village, you're going to want to then move your car to either the Gateway Garage or park it along the Summit spine. There will be directional signage. There will also be move-in volunteers and police officers to help direct you and show you where to go. Students who are moving into the village at Alpine Valley, once they get their keys, you can just leave your car parked in the Alpine garage and then go ahead and unload your things. We would ask, because parking on the first floor of the garage is so limited, that once you get your items unloaded, you go ahead and relocate your vehicle to residential parking, which is below ground. And make sure you have your car registered and move to the resident parking area. By 8 a.m. on Monday, August 21st, they will be starting to ticket once classes start. So you'll want to make sure that you have your car properly positioned. To register your vehicle, I've listed the link for you, or you can again utilize the QR code. This is that really, really busy map that I was talking about, but it does have a lot of useful information. If you look at the map, you'll note that our Summit Village residences are outlined in red, numbers 1 through 9. Alpine Valley apartments are 12 through 14 in purple, and the village at Alpine Valley is 15 through 17 in light blue. I wanted to point out just a couple of things so that you know exactly where to go. So that first arrow that just popped up, that's pointing you to the Alpine garage where you're going to first park your car. And then the second arrow that pops up is pointing right at that Gallagly Wellness Center entrance right there at the gym. You're going to line up outside where that arrow is pointing, and you'll go inside to get your keys. The third arrow that just popped up, that points at the entry to the spine. So you will have temporary unloading on the spine, and they will show you kind of how to go through there. If you need to park after you've unloaded to help your son or daughter unload their things, we would ask that you relocate them to the Gateway Garage if you're helping students out in Summit. And then the little circle that popped up, that is the location of our La Plata front desk. So your student will go there to get all of their packages and things. If you have questions throughout the day, you can go there. We'll also have some cold water stations. So if you need some water between move-ins, you'll be able to go there. And then the yellow circle is where our Monarch House front desk is located. A couple of other things just to keep in mind. If you're interested in a loft kit, you can check those out on move-in day. Your resident will need to come and check out the loft kit. And if you want to save yourself some time, you can bring some tools with you to help in the assembly of the loft. A 3/16 Allen wrench and a 1/2 inch socket wrench are required to assemble the loft correctly. And also just a reminder that you must disassemble the loft and return the pieces to us, or you'll be charged a $250 disassembly fee. I like to let people know that in advance because it's amazing how many people forget. If you want to pick up a loft kit, they will be available, like I said, on the main move-in days on the 14th through the 16th. For Village at Alpine Valley, it'll be at the La Plata House 107 office. And for Summit Village, it will be in the Eldora and Steamboat basements. We will have a limited number of moving carts available at Summit and Village at Alpine Valley. And the locations for pickup are Keystone Lift Lounge and Antero Lounge. They'll only be available from August 14th through 20th. So if you're coming as an early arrival, just keep in mind that those will not be available for early arrival students. We highly encourage you to bring your own moving mechanisms if you can, if you have a spare dolly laying around or some other type of cart that might help save you some time. Been getting a lot of questions from parents and students regarding their mailing address, so please take note. If your student lives in any of the buildings at the Village at Alpine Valley, they'll put in their student name, room number, and building name, 4725 Clyde Way in Colorado Springs, Colorado 80918. All packages are picked up for Village at Alpine Valley at the La Plata front desk. And then Summit Village's address is also listed there for you at 1010 Austin Bluffs Parkway. All packages picked up at the Monarch front desk. Some of the common questions that we get are, how big are the pieces of furniture provided in the room? The furniture provided in the room includes an armoire with some hanging storage shelves and 2 drawers at the bottom. The actual hanging space is about 18 inches wide, and then there are some shelves in there as well. You can use purchased bed risers as long as you purchase bed risers that are intended for that purpose. Please don't bring any cinder blocks or anything else to prop your bed up. And they can be no taller than 8 inches from the floor. Storage under the bed is approximately 25 to 30 inches when it's raised to its full height. So you can get a nice big Rubbermaid bin under there for storage if you need to. And a lot of students ask if they can remove furniture and bring their own, and the answer is you cannot do that. You have to work with what's in the room. We welcome you to bring additional items if you think you can fit them, but we would ask you don't block any exits for fire egress issues, and we will check that as we're going through rooms, and that all the furniture provided remains in the suite somewhere. And that's all of the slides that I had for you today. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And I will go ahead and turn it over to Omar, our Director of GPS.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let me go ahead and share the screen with everyone now, so that way we can review that presentation. So if you bear with me very quickly. Okay. Again, thank you, Angela. As Angela mentioned, my name is Omar Montoya, and I am the Director of the Gateway Program Seminar. What essentially is GPS? GPS is the required program seminar course, more specifically or often currently referred to as GPS, and it is an academic program designed to help students successfully adjust to university life. GPS is required for all first-year students and really serves as the foundation for the general education requirements at UCCS, also commonly referred to as the Compass curriculum. In the course, your students will be exposed to 4 core key areas, areas essentially that cover personal growth, also assist them with developing academic skills, getting them connected to professional success, such as career exploration, as well as technology competencies. In this course, we cover, again, a wide variety of different types of assignments and activities that reflect these 4 core common areas. Our program is essentially credited by the Association of American Colleges and Universities, and follows essentially a model that in turn covers a number of different what we refer to as high impact practices. Our program learning outcomes: students enrolled in GPS will expect the following. We will essentially cover ways in which a university education is important in the pursuit of both personal and professional goals. We'll also assist students in exploring things such as ethics and civic engagement, intellectual curiosity, and critical thinking skills. We'll also provide them opportunities to act as a civil and responsible university citizen. We'll ensure and expose them to ethics, civic engagement, social competencies, volunteerism, and service learning. We'll help them to develop self-advocacy skills, such as personal, academic, and professional areas. We also integrate sort of knowledge and skills into each course, helping to analyze, critically think, and expose them to other college-specific and academic support areas on campus. We will also assist them in communication, helping them to convey both orally and in a written format information. And then lastly, we'll also help them to be better prepared for things like interviews and final presentations, communication practices, and group work. So GPS, who attends, right? Who takes GPS? All first year students are required to take GPS. More specifically, Gateway Days. As a reminder, we start next week on Thursday, August the 17th. This is a required date for all of our students. Who attends these days, right? Anyone that is enrolled in a Gateway Days program seminar course, except for the following: courses that are designated as online, courses that have a designation as 3010, or courses that are designated as late start sessions. In your student portal, they will then see the designation OL 1, 2, 3, or 4, 3010 or session B. These students do not participate in Gateway Days. However, all first year students are welcome to participate in any of the activities listed here to the right of the screen. They are encouraged to come and meet with both faculty and fellow students and participate in any type of co-curricular experiences and events. The 2 full days count essentially as 4 weeks of classroom instruction. Co-curricular activities are built into the schedule to provide faculty and student collaboration, additional engagement opportunities, and connect students to not only campus services, student support areas, academic units, but also community building opportunities. What we want students to do is, 1, make sure that you bring comfortable clothing. We do a lot of activities during these 2 days. Students often walk a lot, participate in activities and events and functions, and so make sure that you dress appropriately. Also, make sure that students sign, again, waiver forms for participation in any of the activities that we have planned for the day. I'll discuss these waivers in just a minute. And then please note that parking is free on August 17th and 18th. So again, your student does not have to pay for parking again on these 2 days. If a student misses one or both days, either Thursday, August 17th or Friday, August 18th, then they will be required to take either an online course or a late start course. The reason being is that these 2 days count again as 4 weeks of classroom instruction. And what that means is that at the end of the course in November, this allows then students to end their class early, November 11th to be specific. If they miss one or both days, that is essentially 4 weeks of class. They will be required to take a full semester or a late start course that begins in October to ensure essentially that their contact hours or credits are then met. Thursday, August 17th, we begin at 9 a.m. You will go directly to your course. You can see the full list on your Canvas shell that is built for your course. You can also check your student portal, or you can visit us at gps.uccs.edu. We will have a welcome address by the chancellor beginning at 9:30. We will then have classroom time at 9:45 to 11:30 a.m. You will do ice-breaking activities. You will get to know your faculty. You'll also be introduced to your course syllabus, as well as other expectations that they may have for you over the fall semester. Then we break for lunch, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Lunch is served. It is provided to all students. If any student does have any type of dietary restrictions, we do recommend that you bring lunch. Again, however, we will be providing lunch for any student, just not those who are enrolled in courses, but anyone who would like to have lunch essentially on us for these 2 days. In the afternoon, we have an opportunity to get connected to college academic programs and units, 1:30 to 3 p.m. Here we have a resource fair where students can learn more information about different types of college degrees, opportunities and programs from everywhere from engineering to health and social sciences. And then in the afternoon, 3:30 to 5 p.m., we also then will return to class. A key highlight of the program this year is that we are offering a first year job fair, and this will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Burger Hall. This is an opportunity for your student, should they wish to seek campus employment, to again attend this fair. We have campus partners and stakeholders. A number of these organizations from across campus will be hiring students on the spot. And so we do highly recommend, if you are interested in one of these positions, that you attend this job fair and take the opportunity to seek employment from one of our campus partners. Friday, August the 18th, again, will begin at 9 a.m. Then in turn, we have several different activities built into this schedule until 11:30 a.m. You can be in the classroom or you can participate in team building exercises such as Chalk the Walk. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, we will serve lunch. As a reminder, as I mentioned earlier, please ensure that if you have dietary restrictions or needs, to please make sure that you plan accordingly. And then in the afternoon, we will have what we refer to as Community Fest. All of our first year students are required to perform a service learning project, regardless of which GPS class they're enrolled in. This is an opportunity to get connected to community nonprofit organizations and businesses. Students essentially will matriculate throughout this fair, learn more about what type of service learning and volunteerism projects are available to them over the course of the semester, and they may individually or collectively as a course sign up for one of these projects and perform their service learning opportunity throughout then the fall semester. We will conclude then the 2 days with a scavenger hunt. This scavenger hunt is designed essentially to get students connected more to college campus. We have a great opportunity on the evening to close out the full 2 days. Students will race around campus getting to learn more about, again, different locations and different student support areas, and then race to the finish line. First couple of classes essentially who win successfully and complete then the scavenger hunt will win prizes. In addition to that, we will be serving cotton candy, popcorn, and a number of other types of carnival foods on the West Lawn, live music and games. So it's a great way to cap off then the GPS course experience. So all students, regardless of your GPS course, will have the following requirements. Several different questions that we often receive is, what if my student essentially is not in the GPS class that they wanted? If my student is an engineering student, but in turn is in a Harry Potter Muggle Studies course. Again, all of our courses have the same requirements. 80% of our curriculum is identical. We all share the same course textbook. So regardless of the class that you're enrolled in, you will essentially have the same textbook across, again, all these sections. That is referred to as our Navigate textbook. This is a digital only textbook that is offered through Inclusive Access. Instructors will have information on how to secure this text. However, again, this will be built automatically into your Canvas shells and as part of the new student TAP fees. All students are required to take Smart Moves federal training. This is mandatory sexual harassment and smart decisions training that students, again, are provided within the first 2 days of the semester. All students will complete a written or oral capstone project, again, throughout the course, and capstoning essentially their experience with one or both of these. All students are required to connect to 2 different campus areas to develop greater awareness and knowledge of student support programs. So this may be academic advising. This may be our veteran services program. Academic advising is also integrated in each course to assist students in navigating course scheduling. A service learning project, as I mentioned earlier, is also a requirement of all of our students, and this is really to emphasize academic civic engagement and social competency. A peer leader, again, a peer mentor, again, is provided to all courses. well, let me clarify, not all courses. However, again, this mentorship is an opportunity for your student to develop additional support. And then individual conferences are required of all of our students. Again, they will meet with either their faculty teaching team, so that way then they can get additional support throughout the fall semester. The core text, for those of you who may be curious, this is essentially the course content that we cover. Everything from introduction to the college experience to helping expose them to areas such as wellness, leadership, and ethics. We also, again, prepare students on career exploration, getting them connected to internships and additional career opportunities, as well as covering areas such as learning strategies, reading strategies, and note taking. Some of the program highlights that we have, for instance, those campus connections. So we do provide opportunities, again, as I mentioned, for career exploration. We do connect students to academic advising and other areas on campus. So these are required of all students. And so this really fosters an additional opportunity for engagement, connection for our respective students, and helps them to more strategically navigate their first year experience. And again, fosters a greater connection beyond, again, that first semester. Service learning, right? We have more than 1,800 students that participate each fall semester, 30 nonprofit and local organizations. Students go out into the community. Some of them build Habitat for Houses for Humanity. Some of them may also clean up a creek. So we have a variety of different service learning engagement opportunities that we provide students. And it's a great opportunity to, again, build on that theoretical framework of volunteerism and civic engagement. At the same time, it also connects them to opportunities that we partner with later in their educational pipeline during their junior or senior year by providing them opportunities for internships and job placements. So next steps, visit the GPS websites, gps.uccs.edu, or you can scan the QR code down below. As we prepare for next week, what you're going to want to do is scan this QR code. This will essentially direct you to our GPS website. The first thing that you're going to want to do is, again, review the class schedule. On this class schedule, you will note 2 different room locations. The first is your Gateway Day schedule. That is your their class location for August 17th and 18th only. Right? Please make sure that you note this. Your fall semester class location is different. However, both of those are listed on there. In addition to that, you can see more information about the Gateway Days experience, what in turn you need to bring. And you'll also then, have an opportunity if you need to contact myself or, again, our program coordinator. Our contact information is located on there. Beginning today, we will be sending an email out to every single student. So please be on the lookout for that at your uccs.edu email. Make sure, again, that you review that carefully, because in that email, we are sending out our student waivers. But waivers are really important because, as I mentioned, we participate in a lot of different opportunities, campus activities, and we also do service learning projects. A waiver is required of all students, regardless of what course they are enrolled in. If you are under 18 by next Wednesday, you will need a parent or a guardian to sign this waiver. If you are over 18, you can sign this waiver yourself. Once you sign the waiver, it's an electronic form. It will be automatically redirected to us. And in turn, that's it. For any reason, if you forget your waiver, our faculty will have these waivers available during the first day of courses. So you can then sign that physical waiver form there. However, please note, if you do not sign a waiver form, particularly for those students who are under 18, then you will be required to attend both of these 2 days and stay in study hall in the library for, again, August 17th and 18th. And so we encourage all students to ensure that they sign those waiver forms. If anyone has any questions or concerns about that, again, you can scan this QR code and that will direct you to our website, as well as direct you to contact information where you can reach out to us directly. All right, everyone, that concludes then my part of the presentation this evening. Thank you very much. I will then turn this over to student Kacharia, who is, again, our student life and student engagement director on campus.
Thank you, Omar, and good evening, everyone. I know I really can't see you, but for those of you who I met at the orientation welcome bashes, thanks for coming back and chatting with us, and it's great that you're here again. For those of you who I didn't meet, my name is Stephen Cucciara. I'm the Director of Student Engagement. So what I do is I work with students outside the classroom in terms of developing their college experience, whether that be joining student organizations, whether that be attending campus programs, getting campus employment, sororities and fraternities, leadership opportunities. All of that is roped under me in the Department of Student Life. What I'm going to be sharing with you all today is a little bit about Clyde's Kickoff. For those of you who did attend the New Student Orientation Welcome Bashes, you might already know a little bit about this, but here I have an opportunity to get into more detail about what Clyde's Kickoff is, its purpose, its intention, and what we're planning for your students as they arrive, believe it or not, next week in 5 to 6 days. So it's very exciting. Clyde's Kickoff is our version of a new student welcome week. It usually occurs the week prior to classes starting, and it is just for first-year students. And let me be clear that it doesn't matter if you are a first-year traditional freshman. It doesn't matter if you are a first-year traditional freshman living on campus in one of the resident halls, or you're living off campus as a commuter. It doesn't matter if you are a transfer student. It doesn't matter if you're a traditional freshman that's coming in with 30 to 40 credits from high school. That's okay. This week is designed with intention for all first-year students. Every single program and event has a purpose, and there's a meaning for everything. So what I think is important is that Clyde's Kickoff is designed because it's going to help your students make some friends and find their community, learn valuable resources in and around the campus and how to get connected to people. And then probably most importantly, each event and program is designed to help first-year students transition to that higher education life here at UCCS, whether it's living on campus or living off campus. All of the fun and excitement starts on Monday, August 14th. That is 5 days away, so get ready for that. Angela spoke a little bit about housing check-ins. So if you are a residential student, you have hopefully by now your check-in time and where you're checking in. If you are a commuter student, we have things for you as well. Starting Monday, August 14th, commuter students can also check in at the same location as residential students. Now you may be thinking, why, as a commuter student, am I going to check in? The reason why we're really encouraging first-year commuter students to check in is because we're going to give you some valuable resources that'll help set you up for a successful first week and week leading into the first actual week of classes. So on Monday, August 14th, commuter check-in goes from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the campus recreation center. And at that same time, we will be hosting a commuter social. So if you are a commuter student, you can attend this social. We'll feed you. You'll get a chance to meet engagement leaders, which I'll talk about later. And our chancellor, Jennifer Sobonet, plans to be at the commuter check-in. It's a great opportunity to get connected with resources, meet other commuter students, and meet other current students. So that way you can get a head start on what the school year will be like. And then on Monday, August 14th at night, the evening program is called Stuff a Stuff. What is that? If you've ever been to Build-A-Bear, we just bring Build-A-Bear to campus. So students will be able to stuff their own themed UCCS stuffed animal. Really exciting stuff. Fun doesn't stop there. It continues on Tuesday. Again, residential move-in will still continue. Commuter check-in will also continue. I know it doesn't say it on this picture here, but commuter check-in will continue on Tuesday, August 15th at the Campus Recreation Center from 1 to 4 p.m. Other great things happening that Tuesday. We have Club and Org Field Day. This is a club fair for first-year students to get a head start in joining student organizations before the school year starts. We won't have our annual club fair until 2 weeks into the semester, but this one is dedicated and designed just for our first-year students. So you'll have an opportunity as first-year students, or your students will have an opportunity to see who these student organizations are and what they want to join. Then on August 15th at night, we have Under the Lights. What that is, it's an ice cream social for all students. We have ice cream, we have games, we have novelty activities. It's a fun event. Purpose of that event is to really connect all students, the first year residential students, first year commuter students, in a fun and exciting environment. Wednesday, August 16th, we have a great event called Street Fair. All of our dining and hospitality services here on campus, our dining halls, will set up a street fair in Summit Village. So if your student is living in Summit Village, it'll be right outside their front door. If they're not, they can walk right on over. Probably one of the more significant events for first year students on August 16th is this Mountain Lion meetup event. At this event, all students will go to this. They will meet directly with the chancellor, which is really exciting. The chancellor will say a few words here and there. And then the class, which is the class of 2027, will take their class photo. So this is an event where we bring the class together. They take their class photo. So that's two parts about this event. The third part, and probably the most important part, regardless if you're living on campus or you're commuting, is that you will have a chance to meet with a student leader that's assigned to every single student. What'll happen is that on this day in that small group, that student leader will share valuable resources about getting involved, valuable resources from the academic setting, what students need to know for Thursday and Friday for Gateway Days, which is the program Omar was speaking about, as well as their own experiences here at UCCS. What we have found are the peer-to-peer relations are the most important. So your student will have an engagement leader. As a matter of fact, today, your student, and you should check in with them, should check both their UCCS email and their personal email. They should have received a notification with some information about Clyde's Kickoff, as well as who their engagement leader is. So again, every student will receive what we're calling an engagement leader. The purpose of the engagement leader is for the students to have a direct connection to a current student when they arrive here at UCCS. That way, they don't have to worry about when should I buy my books? Where do I buy my books? What should I get involved with? What's going on campus? That way, if their roommate doesn't know or they don't know, they'll have this peer leader, the engagement leader, who will be able to help them with that. So again, your students should have received notifications today, and if they haven't, they're still going out. So they may receive it later tonight regarding who their engagement leader is. So do check in with them on that. And then later on this week, your student will receive direct communication from their engagement leader. Then concluding Wednesday will be RecFest. That is a showcase of our Recreation and Wellness Center. It's a really great event because students really get to be immersed in our recreational activities, but also learn about wellness on campus. And it's done in a very engaging and upbeat way, which is very exciting. Thursday and Friday, as Omar stated, are Gateway Days. If your student is enrolled in a GPS class, they should go to class. It's a 3-credit class. If they don't go, it can really affect their GPA. So please make sure your student attends GPS as well as fills out their waiver. On Thursday, and they will be going through seminars and different presentations during their time at Gateway Days. So at night, we host an event called The Dating Doctor. What could that possibly be about? Well, if you've ever seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith, no, we don't bring Will Smith, but we bring the movie we bring the person who that movie was based off of. His name is David Coleman. He is a real-life dating doctor. The purpose of this event is to talk to your students and share with your students on how to create healthy relationships, friendships, how to communicate effectively, and how to be successful in terms of establishing any kinds of relationships in college, whether that be friendships, whether that be actual relationships, it doesn't matter. That's what the Dating Doctor is all about. And to be honest with you all, it's probably one of the more popular events here on campus. That concludes Thursday. Friday, we have Gateway Days again. The evening events during Gateway Days are really exciting. First, we have Premiere Night. That is an event held in the University Center. All the different offices and departments showcase who they are. Students can interact with them, learn some valuable tips about those departments and offices. And then, and probably most importantly, they'll also get some swag. So it's a great opportunity for students to get connected with resources in the University Center. Culminating event on Friday night is Crave Rave Bingo. It is the largest game of bingo in the city of Colorado Springs. Hundreds of students, 600, 700, 800 of our first year students participate in that event every single year. We have great prizes, a lot of fun. It gets pretty intense. Believe it or not, your students really get into the games of bingo. So again, that's from 9 p.m. to midnight on Friday, August 18th. Oh, and by the way, you may be thinking some of these events are kind of late. We do that with intention because we want to keep your students engaged. We want to help them make smart choices, but also have some fun and build that community. The final day of Clyde's Kickoff on Saturday, August 19th, we have a variety of opportunities. First of all, every year we have a class service project. It's called the 2027 Gratitude Project. During this project, students will be writing small letters to donors and thanking them for scholarships, for all their donations that they've made to UCCS. Really great opportunity. Saturday night, the first event, we have our Movie Madness, which is our outdoor movie. We have a giant inflatable movie screen. Students can get hammocks, lounge chairs. They'll sit out on our quad and they'll watch a movie. The movie we're showing is the new Super Mario Brothers movie. So again, that'll be on Saturday, August 19th. And our final culminating event is our open mic night. This is our annual event where first year students can showcase their talents, do spoken word, play music, whatever they want. They can read poetry. It doesn't matter. Students will do anything to get on a microphone. So we give them that opportunity on Saturday night. And that really concludes Clyde's Kickoff. So the big takeaways. 1, where can you find out about this information? On your screen, there is a QR code. You can scan that. That's going to take you directly to the Clyde's Kickoff website. If you don't have the ability to scan the QR code, the website is simple, uccs.edu/Clyde's Kickoff. Again, that's uccs.edu/Clyde's Kickoff. No apostrophe in Clyde's when you're entering it into the web browser. So that's number 1. Number 2, you may be thinking, are these events required? What I will share with you is that they are highly encouraged. What we find are that students who engage in activities and programs and seminars during Clyde's Kickoff Week are more likely not to be successful their first year, but that success carries on into their second semester, into their second year, their third year, their fourth year, and they wind up graduating on time. As I said earlier, every single event here is designed with intention, helping students build community, find friends, learn about one another, learn about the resources of campus, and really learn about how to get involved and show them ways of getting involved as well. So no, not every single event is required, but again, we strongly encourage our students, and I think Ellen, Angela, Omar, and the rest of the team here would also echo the same sentiment that it's highly encouraged, have your student attend these events. Third thing I'll say is what you may be thinking, again, can you explain the engagement leader piece? This year, every single first year student will be paired up with an engagement leader. It's a peer student. They have sophomore, junior, senior, and graduate student status. So they've been here for a while. They are fully trained. And the idea is to help have a student be that direct connection to help them acclimate, make friends, be their friend, and really learn about the valuable resources. At other universities, they have them as orientation leaders, welcome leaders. At UCCS, we call them engagement leaders. I would say those are the majority of the questions that I typically receive. If you have questions about what else is going on, you can email me directly. My email address is S as in Sam, CUCCHIA as in Apple at UCCS.edu. Again, that's S as in Sam, C as in cat, U as in umbrella, C as in cat, C as in cat, H as in Henry, I as in information, A as in Apple at UCCS.edu. And again, please check with your students. Make sure they check not only their personal email, but their UCCS email, because there is important information there as well. And with that said, please again, place your questions in the Q&A feature here in our webinar. Other than that, that is all I have. I look forward to seeing all of your students and hopefully many of you next week, either Monday or Tuesday. And please stop by. Please, if you see me, say hello. Happy to chat with you, happy to connect with your student. And if you need anything, we're here for you. Thanks, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to our wonderful presenters and guests for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to have all of you at this webinar. My name is Nick Lockwood. I work in orientation, and I get the fun job tonight of being your facilitator for any questions that you may have to ask our wonderful panel here this evening. So all of our presenters are still on, and they will be answering your questions. So Stephen, since you were just up, we're going to keep it fresh with you here. And can you tell us a little bit about commuter students? Like Clyde's Kickoff is such a fantastic event. How might one convince, encourage, and promote Clyde's Kickoff to a commuter student?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And we've dealt with that for years. What I can say is that, look, as commuter students, you can make the most of your experience. If you want your experience to just be going to classes every single day, not really going to class and then going home, not really engaging with anyone, you can do that. We're not going to stop you. I think the important things to echo to any of your students who are commuter students are the following. I think this is college. Make the most of it. Every day, people that you meet could be people that you will establish connections with for a lifetime. Yeah, maybe attending the dating doctor seems a little silly, but you won't know unless you attend. And here's the reality too. Have them check it out. If they check it out and they like it, that's a win. If they check it out and they don't like the events, they can leave. We're not going to hold them. We're not going to restrain them and not go and be a part of that. Again, I get that maybe some of these events are a little intimidating. Have them bring a friend as well. They don't have to attend UCCS. We allow guests to participate. Now, they may not be able to win prizes during bingo or any of the other events, their friend that is, but they can absolutely bring friends to these events if that'll make them more comfortable. And again, if they're really doubting it, have them attend the commuter social. Let's get them connected with one of the engagement leaders. That way, all the pressure isn't on you to try to convince your student. Let them make the decision on their own. But I would encourage them, instead of saying, hey, attend the whole week, pick a select event. By picking that select event, then they can get a taste and see what they want to do. In that case, I would say do the first day, attend the commuter social. They may have a different opinion afterwards. And most importantly, no matter what, they should still check in, because not only are by checking in as a commuter student, there are certain things that you will have to do, like turn in various vaccination records. And that's something that commuter students wind up doing later on, and it can affect their class registration status. So again, first day, I would say definitely encourage them to get involved. And hopefully that answers questions if you have folks if you have students who are commuter students that don't feel like coming. Hopefully that answered your question.
That's great. Stephen, while we got you here, we'll ask you one more and then we'll transition. We'll go between our wonderful presenters this evening. I thought this is such an insightful question is, hey, I'm an introvert. I'm really interested in attending these events, but is there any that you'd recommend for those who may be a bit more introverted or hesitant to join these large populations?
Absolutely. In terms of being introverted, we get it. And again, I do have to plug this. As if you're introverted, remember, you're going to have an engagement leader, so you can just talk with them. You don't have to be a part of the group of 30 students that you have. You can definitely be yourself and be with those engagement leaders. That's what their role is all about. In terms of specific events, again, I would say Club and Org Field Day. Club and Org Field Day is great on Tuesday. because you then as a student can decide what clubs you want to interact with. If you just want to go up to a table and write your email address down, you can do that. If you see something you really like, hey, you can connect with them. Stuff is another great example. You can get your stuffed animal or get your stuffing for your stuffed animal and sit along the sidelines and just enjoy that and just be outside and around people. You never know who you're going to meet or who you're going to end up with. Nick brings his kids every year to Stuff, so that's exciting. You get to meet Nick and his kids. So I would say Stuff is a good one. Club and Org Field Day is a good one. The Dating Doctor, that's more of an interactive presentation, but you're not necessarily interacting with those around you. You're interacting with the speaker. Premiere Night is a really good one because in a way that is like a scavenger hunt within the university center. So you can do it with folks that you know. You could bounce over to other offices on your own, and you don't really have to interact with folks. So those are some of the events right off the bat. And bingo, I mean, you're going to be sitting in a room with a lot of people, but you're just focused on your own bingo board. I don't care about anyone else. I'm blowing everyone else's chips off their board because I want to win the prizes. So those are some of the events that I would say are really good. Movie Madness. You can watch the movie alone outside and you don't really have to interact with folks.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much. We know that you and your team do a lot of work to prepare these events, and folks, I can't encourage to attend those events anymore. They are absolutely fantastic, and Stephen does a wonderful job of providing such a wide array of events for different interests. So don't hesitate, jump in, start with something small, and enjoy your time. Stephen will stay on because we may have more questions for you, but I'm going to invite Angela back on from Residence Life and Housing. And thanks again, Stephen. We appreciate you. Angela, one great question that came up is a little nervous meeting roommates for the first time. And do you have any recommendations for those who are meeting roommates for the first time? And then secondly, do those roommates tend to move in at the same time, or is that individually scheduled?
That is a great question. Not all roommates for a particular suite are going to move in at the same time. It's really about what was most convenient per person's schedule. So it's completely possible for a student to come in on their move-in time if they're on the 15th and 16th and find that one of their roommates has already moved in ahead of them. What we advise is that students reach out to their roommates in advance to try and coordinate some of the items that you're going to be bringing. In your roommate notification letter, you should have received your roommate's cell phone number so that you can text them just to kind of chat and get to know them ahead of time. If there are specific things that you know you want to bring, the space is limited, especially in those common areas. So try and coordinate who's bringing what in advance if you can. You also have their emails. And I would my best advice for folks is to give folks a chance when you get here, because first impressions can be deceiving. Everyone's trying to be cool and, put on a certain air as they get to know people, but it's not until a couple weeks go by that you really get to know them and what they're about. If there are any crazy roommate situations where you just know you're not going to be successful in a roommate situation, we can make emergency moves at any time and offer you a different space. But we will have an open room change period every single semester that we're in session, and that starts in the 3rd week of the term. So if you can give yourself a couple weeks to get to know your roommates, then in week 3, we'll start offering the ability to move to open room spaces.
Thank you, Angela. And to that point as well, I saw in the chat earlier that we had some questions about residential advisors. Can you speak a bit more to their role and how they support students, not only during move-in, but throughout the year?
Sure, absolutely. Our RAs, they have regular duty rotations, so they're going to walk throughout the buildings and get to kind of keep an eye on things and how things are going. There will be 2 separate phone numbers provided to you at move-in. So if you need to get a hold of an RA, you can get a hold of one at any time for lockout situations, or you have some other type of emergency that's come up and you just need some support, and those numbers will be provided to you. You'll also have an individual RA on your floor or very near to where you're living that will be reaching out to you very specifically. Our RAs take part in a residential curriculum that involves a number of different components, such as intentional outreach to the students, show active support. They will put on community builder programs, and they'll also help facilitate getting you involved in other areas of the campus. In addition to RAs, we also have resident hall managers who will stay abreast of any concerns that come in from faculty members who may report a student who's not attending class to, care team submissions. So we have multiple things in place to support your student while they're here with us. And the resident advisors are a great part of that.
Thank you, Angela. Angela, I got one more question for you, and then we'll transition on. And next up, we'll invite Omar back for some GPS related questions. But just a friendly reminder too, folks, feel free in our final minutes here, if you have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A functionality. Type in those questions. Our team would be happy to. And even if we don't get to it live in our Q&A facilitation, our team's chatting away behind the scenes. So we would love to help you in any way. Angela, it seems like laundry has been coming up, a few questions related to laundry. Can you tell us a little bit about the laundry facilities, and even a specific, if you know it, if the washers are front load or side load and whatnot?
Sure. We have 3 laundry facilities in housing. One is in La Plata, one is in Crestone, and one is in Keystone House over in Summit Village. All of them are front loading washers and dryers. They're all free, so you don't need any cards or coins in order to operate them. You will need to bring your own detergent. If for some reason you forget your detergent, we actually have a little vending machine with some detergent outside of the laundry room, so that's kind of nice too. A question that I get is, should I stay with my laundry while it's washing? And the answer is yes, you should. I would love to say that every student that we have here is an angel and that your clothes will never walk away from your washer or dryer if you leave them unattended, but it has happened. Don't be one of the ones that leaves your clothes in the dryer, forgets about them, comes back 2 days later, and then wonders why they're not there, because they will be removed if they're left in the dryers. There are some tables and chairs available in the laundry rooms, so that if you want to sit there and study, or you just want to watch YouTube or whatever you want to do, you can do that in the laundry rooms as well.
Well, thank you, Angela. I know you'll stay on and answer any additional questions in the background, but thank you to you and your team as we embark upon Move-In. I know you all make it a huge success, and I can't tell you, folks, we're so excited for Move-In. It is an exciting time on campus. The campus comes alive, and we are so excited to welcome you all. Omar, I'm going to invite you on for a few GPS questions. And again, folks, feel free to type in those questions in the Q&A. Happy to help here. So Omar, Gateway Days are so very vital and important. Can you touch again upon, 1, are they required? And 2, what happens if you miss one?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nick. Gateway Days are required of all of our students unless you are enrolled either in an online course that's designated as an OL course in your student portal, a 30-10 course, which is our transitions courses, which are reserved for our military, our non-traditional students, or a late start course, which will be identified in your student portal as a session B. These courses start in October. Otherwise, all of your students will participate in Gateway Days. These count as 4 total weeks of classes from 9 until 5 p.m. on August 17th and August 18th. We blend academic programming along with social networking and skill building, as well as other co-curricular programs to ensure that your students, 1, are academically prepared for the semester. More importantly, we introduce you to campus resources, support networks, again, student life, as well as other areas on campus. And so it's a great opportunity to not only get connected and begin to foster and develop a sense of belonging, but it also counts as credit. So students essentially receive 4 weeks of classroom instruction. Yes, if a student has to miss 1 or both days, they will have to take a online course or a session B late start course. This simply is because each day is the equivalent of 2 weeks of class. At 4 weeks, unfortunately, that is simply too much class to make. And so we will assist that student to redirect them to one of those other courses.
Fantastic. Thanks for clarifying, Omar. And then if you can reiterate for us, where can students find information about their Gateway Day location for their particular GPS section?
Absolutely. So again, we will ensure that we provide Ellen the information with the slides that again we presented earlier. However, if you go to gps.uccs.edu and essentially be directed on the navigation tab to Gateway Days, you will see a area that says "See Your Room Schedule." There, an Excel document will pull up. Please make sure that you do have your GPS section available. So these will be monikered as GPS 1010 and whatever number essentially that is. Look for that on the Excel doc, and then you will see your Gateway Days room location, right? Which again is for August 17th and 18th only. And then in addition to that, you will then see your fall room location. If in turn you do not see this preliminarily on that list, keep on scrolling down, and those courses that do not participate in Gateway Days, i.e. those late start sessions that I mentioned earlier, those 3010 or online sections, that section, again, beyond those that are in that Gateway Days location will also be identified, and those courses simply will have an NA for your fall location room or your Gateway Days room location, which signals that you do not participate in Gateway Days, or in turn, essentially, for your fall location. Sorry, got a little confused there.
That's super. Omar, again, kudos to your team as well. Do a fantastic job. Gateway Days are so much fun. And even GPS, if you do not participate in Gateway Days for your particular section, know that your program is so enriched and infused with wonderful content, wonderful folks. And we are excited to be a part of that program. So thanks, Omar, and your team.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kindly invite all of our presenters, so Stephen, Angela, and Omar, to join the screen here. And I got one final, a webinar wouldn't be complete without a speed round. So here's the speed round for you, and it's one final question. And we'll start with Stephen. He's had some time to think about it, even though he doesn't know what's coming. And that is, Stephen, what are you most excited about? And what's your piece of advice you'd like to provide family members or students?
Thanks for your question. First of all, I'll start with what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited for you all as students, or parents, if this is for you, your students coming to be with us. UCCS is an absolutely wonderful place. I've been at this institution going on 11 years now, and this has truly become a wonderful place to work, wonderful place to be at. Your students are so highly talented and so gifted, and being able to work with them, helping them do the things that they want to do is what gives me my energy every day to get up, come to work, and really be exciting. And by the way, I don't drink any caffeine, so I've been going all day. This is how I normally am. So I'm excited to meet all of you during kickoff week. I'm excited to see all of you at Move In, the commuter social. Come stop me, say hello. So that's what I'm most excited about. And then Nick, the latter part of your question was, what advice would I give, or one piece of advice or wisdom maybe? Is that accurate, or?
That's perfect. Thanks, Stephen.
Okay. I think the best thing that I can do is, that I will say with you, is give your students some space, allow them to explore. I think it's really important for you to encourage them to get involved and try all the activities. But I think that's the thing, try them. If they don't like the first one, try the second one. If they don't like the second one, try the third one. Maybe they hit on the third one and they don't like the fourth one. Just continue to encourage them to try things out, because it can be very easily to get caught into a routine where you're not trying new things, you're staying in your resident hall room, you're going to class, then you're driving back home. Have them try new things. And if they need that little bit of support and guidance, that's why I'm here. That's why Angela, Ellen, Omar, Nick, we're all here to help with that. So that's my word of advice for everyone. Great question.
Thank you, Stephen. Angela, your turn. Most excited about and just a piece of wisdom.
What I'm most excited about, I think everyone's going to say the same thing, is that we've been very lonely for you guys. We can't wait for you guys to come to campus. This campus has been so quiet over the summer, and it really, once the students get back, there's just an energy in the air that you don't get any other time. And we're just looking really forward to meeting and getting to know you. I have two pieces of advice. One is from an operations standpoint, and that is, don't bring your whole house with you to move in. Really edit what you're going to bring with you to move in, because I've seen students come with a U-Haul truck and half the U-Haul goes back home with the parents and it's still half full. So be careful about what you bring. If you do live more locally or you're within a couple hours distance and can bring an additional load later, just bring what you need now and you can always go back and get more. So that's my practical tip. My second tip is, don't judge your roommates before you get to know them. It's really easy to go on and see somebody's social media profile or, just little snippets and to make snap judgments. Give them some time to warm up to you. Figure out what that roommate relationship is really going to be. Some people will want to be your best buddy. Some people will just want to be your roommate and share a space with you, but that's okay too. We'll find a way for everything to fit together for you. And utilize us as a resource because we're here for you.
Thank you, Angela. And Omar, you get the grand finale here. Excited about and a piece of wisdom.
Excellent. I'm excited about all the programming that we have created this year. Again, the team here throughout Clyde's Kickoff in the various different areas, but also specifically for GPS. We really pride ourselves in that co-curricular experience that we provide students both in and outside of the classroom. These activities and events are really designed August 17th and 18th to really provide students opportunity for engagement, exposure, and really to help them foster a sense of community belonging. We have everything, as I mentioned earlier, from the scavenger hunt to our academic resource fairs. And so these are great, simple opportunities to just simply get to know more information about campus services and areas. Again, it helps your student essentially better navigate UCCS. And honestly, just have fun. We have a lot of great opportunities. We have food, we have prizes, events, and functions and giveaways during these 2 days. And best of all, as I mentioned earlier, this is credit bearing. So you get class credit for these 2 days. If I would have one suggestion, is to be prepared and dress appropriately. I know that sometimes the first day of school is really exciting and many of us like to dress up like we used to in elementary school or middle school, but because we do a lot of events, functions, and activities, you might be doing a hike or a trail cleaning project. We want you to ensure that you be prepared. So come in comfortable shoes, comfortable attire. If you can, bring sunscreen, bring a water bottle. We'll absolutely have food and snacks and everything available for you, but you want to dress appropriately. And lastly, another point of advice is anyone is welcome to participate in Gateway Days. You do not have to have a course essentially that is enrolled on August 17th and 18th. If you are in an online course and you are a student here on campus, if you are a student in a session B class, which is our late start sessions, or if you're a transfer student and necessarily doesn't have to take GPS, please, come and participate in any of the Clyde's kickoff activities that we have planned for you, including those on Gateway Days. So we are excited and looking forward to meeting all of you next week, and thank you.
Well, thank you to Omar, Stephen, Angela, and more importantly to all of you folks attending this evening. I'm going to pass it along to Ellen for our final remarks.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you again to our presenters and thank you to all of you for showing up. I got a fun question and that question was, what date would you recommend we as family leave our student? And so I think some of it really depends, but we have intentionally made it so that once your student moves in, there's activities for them to get engaged and connected to other students right away. So I would really say that once you move them in, you might have another meal with them, you might take them shopping, but probably you might be saying goodbye as soon as that first evening. For our out-of-state families, we know you've been planning around some of this. We have the out-of-state send-off on Wednesday the 16th from 1 to 2:30. If you haven't RSVP'd and you are an out-of-state family, you can email me, but that event is for families. You'll come to that event while your students go to their first floor meetings if they're living on campus. And After that, you probably won't see your student because their RAs will shuffle them to different events, or their engagement leaders will shuffle them to different events. So they're kind of off and running. So that's part of that. Outside of that, if you have questions, if you have concerns, trust your gut as parents and let us know. We have an email address. It's family@uccs.edu. We have a web page or a Facebook group for parents. It's the UCCS Mountain Lion Family Group. And that's fun because everybody's asking some of these questions and we have some returning parents answering those. We also have our Family Connections Facebook page. And then our office in general just does a lot of different things to support students. So we really are the connection for you and your students to a lot of other different resources. Really, you could go to anyone in this on this panel and they would help you or your student. But we are the ones that partner with faculty to help identify students who are struggling and then connect them to resources. We partner with family members to support their students' journey. We want to make sure that you have what you need to be able to best support your student. Or if you're like, ooh, this doesn't feel right, you let us know. We house our First to Go program, which is really designed to affirm and recognize our first generation students and the experiences that they've had, what they're bringing to UCCS, and then the journey that they have through college. We have our learning communities. Some of you asked questions about Mentor Collective, which pairs a student that's been at UCCS for over a year with a new student, just to kind of serve as another guide. They predominantly text one another, and it's been really a cool program and a cool experience. We do a lot of outreach and support to your students. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been texting all of our enrolled students just to see if they have any questions about Clyde's Kickoff or textbooks or Gateway Days or anything like that. And then we also offer our peer coaching program, which really takes that mentorship to the next level in terms of having a student who is highly trained go along the journey with your students. So if any questions come up, you can always start with our office. I put the QR code to our office there, but we also have, like I said, the email and all of that. So please reach out if questions come up. We're trying to answer as quickly as we can, but we're pretty much checking as often as we can all of our inboxes and phones and all of that stuff. So please reach out. Again, thank you for coming to our webinar tonight. We hope that you got a lot out of it. We will be posting the recording to this to our YouTube channel, and I put the link in the Q&A discussion. We'll also post it to Facebook, or if you're not getting you're not on all of those channels, you can email that family@UCCS email or uccs.edu email, and we'll be sure to get the recording to you. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.